Last transfer portal cycle, Auburn added a set of keys. Well, they're doing it again, but this time at the defensive line position. Let's talk about the latest commitment and what it means for Hugh Freeze and the Auburn Tigers. War Eagle, and welcome back to the channel. My name's Kyle here at E2C Network, where we share the Auburn experience. As you're watching or listening today, be sure to drop a comment down below about this particular topic. We'd love to hear your thoughts as we're sharing ours. December may be slowing down, but Auburn is certainly not slowing down on the recruiting trail. Today, we are talking about the second overall commitment in the transfer portal. By the way, if you haven't checked out our video on the first commitment, you should do that, Robert Lewis. But we also have our JUCO commitment, Seth Wilfred, who we've done a video about recently too. Make sure you get the information on those guys if you haven't done so already. Second overall commitment, this one's a defensive lineman from Kansas. Gage Keys will come in as a redshirt junior with approximately 2 years of experience to use with the Auburn football team. Coming from Kansas obviously brings the experience of the Big 12, but also has some Big 10 experience too. A certain interesting connection with this team as well. Let's start off by talking about the timeline of events that brought us to the point of his commitment to the Auburn Tigers. If you go back to high school for Gage Keys, you'll notice that he's from the Big 10 area, so it wouldn't surprise you they got a lot of attention from Big 10 schools. Ultimately deciding to go with the Minnesota Gophers and enrolled in August of 2020. Now, his first 2 seasons he spent with Minnesota and didn't play at all and using a red shirt while he was there. Ultimately, it resulted in him deciding to go to the transfer portal to go to Kansas for 1 year, where he had a bit of we'll call it a breakout year, but finally starting to get some stats and some recognition to his name, and ultimately decided that a better opportunity could be found elsewhere, namely Auburn. Entered the portal, took a very quick visit, and on that visit decided to commit to the Auburn Tigers. Now that you know how he got here, let's discuss a few facts for Gage Keys. Coming out of high school, he was considered a 3-star defensive lineman prospect for Hilliard-Davidson High School in Hilliard, Ohio. He's still considered as a transfer to be a 3-star prospect. His measurables are listed approximately 6'5", 290 pounds. With those measurables and his own intentions stated, he plans to play the defensive tackle position across the defensive line. Now let's back up those facts with a few stats. And as you remember, we did discuss that his first 2 years at Minnesota, he didn't play at all. So you're not going to have a lot of stats if you don't play at all. During his 1 year at Kansas, he did finally get some stats. Approximately 21 total tackles, 13 of those being solo. So even with the limited stats and playing time to go off of, the coaches are still super excited and offered this guy. So that should show you that the tape speaks for itself. He's already got 2 major Power 5 conference experience levels on his resume. Even if he didn't play, he was practicing, part of the program. So he's going to be a very experienced guy coming in to provide at least depth, if not find maybe some significant playing time. A few storylines as well about this particular commitment. I talked about a connection to the current team, technically current team. Marcus Harris, who just left the team after this year to go be in the NFL draft, he also transferred in from Kansas. We've also seen some connections with other junior colleges and stuff, having one great prospect come to Auburn, bringing in another one. It seems the coaches are liking going back to those places where we've had some success. This is also the beginning of the transfer portal defensive commits. We've already had 1 offensive commit. So there's a lot of holes that need to be filled, and this is just the start of it. Now that that's everything you need to know about this player, let's discuss what the commitment means for the football program. We'll start with the numbers game. Keep in mind, for the numbers, it is based off of this current commitment. Things change all the time, but what we know right now. As of now, 22 total commitments. 2 of those are transfers. There's also now 12 defensive commits, and 3 of those would be defensive linemen. Now let's talk about the topic of where he fits into the depth chart. What will his opportunities be? So if you look at it overall, we're losing a lot of senior talent, especially we've already mentioned Marcus Harris, but there's some holdovers that are still going to potentially be here if everything holds right now. You've got Justin Rogers. You've also got Jason Jones at the defensive tackle position, and other defensive lineman positions. There's names like Keldrick Falk and Darren Reed, and you're even bringing in names like Malik Blockton and Dimitri Nicholas, who are going to factor into this depth chart as well, depending on where they play across the defensive line. So right now, if you look at him, he's probably providing depth mainly. Will he earn some significant playing time or starting playing time? Only time will tell. Let's talk about the topic of recruiting Battlegrounds in terms of where is this commitment from and what it means for the football program. This is the first commitment in this class from the state of Ohio, where he's originally from, or from Kansas. I guess you could throw Minnesota in there too. I don't think that one counts, though, even though he spent 2 years there. He didn't seem to really like his time there all that much since he didn't play at all. First from those particular 2 states. First from the Midwest area, and the first being from Ohio. That's a talent-rich state. That's a significant thing anytime you can have a relationship to draw back to into that area. And finally, what does this commitment mean for the ending point of the 2024 class, especially at the defensive lineman position? Currently on the roster, you'll find, not counting the seniors who we know are leaving, those that we're assuming that are leaving, about 9 total players on that defensive line roster. 6 of those are going to see this significant playing time. That breaks down to roughly 4 seniors, rising seniors, and 2 rising sophomores, with those freshmen that are also coming in right now. Effectively, this particular guy is filling the role, as we've already mentioned, of Marcus Harris, who just left that vacated spot. There's several other spots that have already been opened up that have been filled by the freshman prospect coming in, and supposedly a couple of others, if you look at where they are in terms of being a senior, that are probably going to be available too. So my guess is this: there's still plenty of room available for transfer portal guys or high school guys to come in. And if that doesn't work out, you may even see some of these edge guys get rotated around like happened in a previous season. So that's my thoughts on your brand new commitment and second transfer portal guy, Gage Keys. Let me know your thoughts about him down in the comments section below. Be sure to do that. And of course, check out those links in the description for this video for ways that you can help support us here at E2C Network, where we share the Auburn experience. War Eagle.